MashaAllah, thank you, Hasan, for that beautiful recitation. Before I call upon Maulana Sayyid Hasan Almodarresi to the member for tonight, I'd like to provide a quick summary of yesterday's lecture for those of us who are here tonight. Yesterday, he gave the first of his series of lectures this Muharram titled The Ongoing War. From the beginning of history, there has been a war between good and evil, vice and virtue. Its iterations are many, from the conflict between Prophet Adam and Iblis, Imam Hasan alayhi salam and Muawiyah, to the conflict between Imam Hussein alayhi salam and Yazid. In this war, Imam Hussein, through his sacrifice, drew a clear line that divided vice and virtue. He revealed the ugliness of Yazid's maligned and distorted version of Islam, and revitalized and gave strength to the true Islam, the Islam brought down by his grandfather, the Prophet Rasulullah. Imam Hussein alayhi salam fought for good in this ongoing war by standing up and raising his voice against the tyranny and vice of Yazid. This ongoing war continues today, and Imam Hussein has shown us which side is the side of Allah and the side of goodness. The months of Muharram and Safar are a reminder to us of the sacrifices of those before us in the struggle between good and evil. And our souls are reminded of what it means to be good, what it means to be in the path of righteousness, the Sirat al-Mustaqim, and what it means to be aboard Hussein's ark of salvation. We must use these months to remind ourselves of what is good and cleanse ourselves of evil, so that we may side with Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the Ahlul Bayt, on the side of good in this ongoing war. By attending these majalis, by especially using the time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given from the 1st of Muharram to the 20th of Safar, to remember the grief and the sacrifices that Imam Hussein alayhi salam and his family and his companions had made on the plains of Karbala, in Kufa and in Sham, we are able to place ourselves on the side of good. Alhamdulillah that we have been given another opportunity to take part in the remembrance of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And may we use this opportunity to board Hussein's ark of salvation and bring us closer to Allah and the path of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. I'd now like to humbly request for Maulana Sayyid Hasan Almodarresi to the minbar so that he may continue his series of lectures and continue to enlighten us all with 3 loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala.
Allah salli ala. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين وحجة رب العالمين المنتجب في الميثاق، المصطفى في الضلال المطهر من كل آفة، البريء من كل عيب، المؤمل للنجاة، المرتجى للشفاعة، المفوض إليه دين الله. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك وأناخت برحلك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أخته العقيلة عقيلة الطالبين زينب الكبرى، وأخيه أبا الفضل العباس، ورحمة الله وبركاته. هذا ما أوصى به الحسين بن علي إلى أخيه محمد بن الحنفية، أن الحسين يشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأن محمدًا عبده ورسوله جاء بالحق من عنده، وأن الجنة حق والنار حق، والساعة آتية لا ريب فيها، وأن الله يبعث من في القبور، وإني لم أخرج أشرا ولا بطرا ولا مفسدا ولا ظالما، وإنما خرجت لطلب الإصلاح في أمة جدي صلى الله عليه وآله. أريد أن آمر بالمعروف وأنهى عن المنكر، وأسير بسيرة جدي وأبي علي بن أبي طالب، فمن قبلني بقبول الحق فالله أولى بالحق، ومن رد علي هذا أصبر حتى يقضي الله بيني وبين القوم، وهو خير الحاكمين. وهذه وصيتي إليك يا أخي، وما توفيقي إلا بالله، عليه توكلت وإليه أنيب. اللهم صل على محمد. This was the will of Imam Sayyid al-Shuhada Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi afdal salati wassalam, that he wrote before his departure from Medina al-Munawwarah, and he handed this will sealed to his brother Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah, and he asked him to recite it after his departure from Medina al-Munawwarah. In it, the Imam has indicated and outlined of his revolution and his uprising for many reasons. One, that today, 1,384 years after the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein alayhi afdalu salati wassalam, no one has any room to doubt his uprising or question it. In this letter, the Imam says that I am Hussein ibn Ali. I bear witness that I believe and bear witness there is no God except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Muhammad is my grandfather, the Prophet of God, and Jannah, paradise, is haqq, nar, inferno, is haqq, day of judgment is haqq, resurrection is haqq, and I'm not coming out to invoke or to bring to this ummah any fasad or dhulm. وإني لم أخرج أشرا ولا بطرا ولا مفسدا ولا ظالما. وإنما خرجت لطلب الإصلاح في أمة جدي رسول الله. I'm coming out to reform the ummah of my grandfather. ولكي آمر بالمعروف وأنهى عن المنكر. أمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر. Enjoining good and forbidding evil. So the Imam here has perfectly crystal clear indicated of his motives. So no one can come today and say he uprised, he fought to take over the Khilafah or such and such. And he himself even said it, that I'm not uprising, I'm not rebellion because they're asking me to pledge my allegiance to Yazid. Even if they don't ask me for that and they say that you are free, I will uprise, I will rebel. Why? Because Yazid is not the right person to rule the Muslim Ummah. So, keep that in mind for a second, and inshallah we dive into tonight's topic. Now, this is history. History is good when you learn something from it, not just to tell bedtime stories. Unfortunately, some of these manabir, some of the speakers, they go up and they come down, history, this happened, that happened. The people of Kufa, the people of Kufa, the people of Basra, the people of Basra. They betrayed the Imam. Well, they did what they did. Now, me, as an individual in the 21st century, what is my responsibility? What do I need to do? In a world that we as humans, we're losing our humanity. What makes us human? This skin, the bone, the veins that runs through it blood, my emotions. One day I'm sad, one day I'm happy, one day I'm depressed. That's what makes me human. That's what makes me an individual, fulan and fulan. He's a sad person, he's an angry person because of our emotions. We are organic beings. And of course we are intellectual beings. We have intellect. We are this kind of creation that we can and we are in many ways and forms. We are inventing, we're writing, we're lecturing, we're talking. So that puts us above the animals. If you say that I was created to drink, I was created to eat, I was created to procreate, I was created to sleep, well, what makes you different from an animal? You have intellectual beings. You are a person with intellect. You can do many things that the animals can't do. And Allah created you for you to progress in life, to evolve. And we have evolved in many ways and forms. If you look at it right now, look in your center, beautiful center of ours. We have a speaker right there, beautiful sound system. We have a projector, we have lights, we have internet, we have air conditioning. If it's hot, I go just press a button. If it's cold, I press a button and that's it. I sit in the car, I press a button and I drive. My ancestors, it took them days, weeks, months to travel from point A to point B. For me, it takes me hours. We live in an age that everything is fast. Everything is moving fast. Technology is moving fast. We live in an age of AI, intellectual what? Hasan. Artificial intelligence, yes? And that makes it very difficult for me as a human being to live a life that it's a Husseini life, that I can really move forward. AI was just introduced recently. ChatGPT was just introduced recently. And now you might think, what does that have to do with me as an individual? What does this have to do with Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi? In an age of social media, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have TikTok, you have all sort of websites, YouTube, and go on and on and on and on, with many ways of many people to communicate with one another and to do what? To put forward their message. The message can be many things, many things. The message can be them cooking. The message can be a podcast, like a person like Andrew Tate, that he comes and gives you such and such, that this is the definition of a man, and of course it doesn't agree to what we believe in, and so on and so forth. If you look at it, the history that we have of an iPhone was introduced to the world January 2007 by Rahmatullah alayhi Steve Jobs. If you're a fan of Apple, I'm not. That's why I have Android as a phone. But when it comes to computers, MacBook, the best. Anyway, Steve Jobs came, and Steve Jobs, he introduced to mankind, to people, this is a new invention. We have an iPhone. Here you go. 2007. We are now in 2023. So how many years we have this beautiful technology? 16 years. You can say that 16 years of an iPhone is still a teenager. It's a new technology that we don't know what to do with it. In another way, I can tell you, this phone of ours, it can be a loaded weapon, a loaded gun in the hands of people that want to destroy another person's life. Or it can be what? For me, I sit down on this phone, I listen to lectures, I sit and I compile many books, I myself write my own lectures, my own books. Sometimes I trade some cryptocurrency here and there. I'm not good at it, so I have to stop. But with this phone, I can do wonders. I can do many things. If someone gives you a phone with a high-speed internet and tells you, do whatever you want. Everyone is different. Some people sit down and they watch hours and hours of influences, so-called influences. Hours and hours. And unfortunately, they waste it. There is this positive side to it and there is this negative side to it. For example, I'll give you the positive side. As MWA, Muhammadiyah Welfare Association, does this center need YouTube? Yes. Live streaming. We need to live stream to the world for them to hear the name of Hussein. Why not? Let it be echoed around the world throughout history. Do I need Instagram? TikTok? Yes. Why? Because the aim is to do what? To spread the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salati wassalam. For an Islamic center, they need to do such a thing. Now it's a necessity. Today, in this time and age, this is a necessity for any Islamic center to have such a technology. Why? Because you live in a different age today. That's why you see the first days of Muharram, before even Muharram, some of the centers, they started putting out the posters after Eid al-Ghadir of what they have for Muharram, who's coming to their center. So everyone needs to know, because it's the age of what? Information. Google has 15 exabytes of information. You know what 15 exabyte means? It means 30,500,000 gigabyte MacBooks. Who has that? Google. You have information, you have power. 15 exabytes. You might say, what? They have everything. That's why if you go and you search whatever you have on your mind, you have found it there, right there. In a matter of seconds, This is the positive side for it. As a student, you sit down to write an essay or report, matter of seconds, sit down and you can find many information of what you want to write about. Of course, there is always the other side of the coin. You have this and you have that. The positive side doesn't tell you that this is it. I'm done. It only has positivity. That's it. No. Unfortunately, there is the what? The negative side. Artificial intelligence today, the AI, the UN Security Council, just yesterday, they had a meeting about the threat of an AI, that it's moving so fast. And the UN Security Council, the founder of it, or the Secretary General of it, he said that AI, it took it weeks, and they had 120 million users, 120 million. But when it came to printing books, it took them 30 years to go across Europe. 30 years. 30 years for it to go around the world, for books to spread out. But for Chat GPT, it took it a matter of weeks, 120 million users. And of course, it's going up. And they themselves, the founders, the creators of AI, they say it's an infant. It's still an infant. But the problem with this infant is that it evolves very fast, and it's much smarter than we as human beings is. And every day it moves forward and forward. Well, just think of it. Matter of weeks, 120 million users, evolves much faster than me and you, doesn't need to sleep, doesn't need to eat, doesn't need to rest, doesn't need to drink, 24/7, it's working. Brain with brain, networks with networks. You ask any question today, tell me who Imam Hussein is, right there. Write for me a poem about Imam al-Hussein, right there. Write me a poem about Imam Ali, right there. Me as a person, if I sit down, it takes me days and days to write a poem like that. This is a beautiful side of it. But of course, the other side, that it's a negative side, is what? The negative side, unemployment, social distress, and we have many other things that this brings to the people because it's a new technology. We don't know how to use it. And that is a problem that we have today. And that problem is this. One, I as an individual can't conceal my privacy. I can't hold on to my privacy. You as a family, can you hold on to your privacy? Can you today go from point A to point B without anyone knowing? I just finished my lecture in Campbelltown, Al-Mahdi Mosque. Straight away, without hesitation, I went to Google Maps, typed in MWA, right there. I can't function without it. If you tell me drive from there to here without using GPS, I'll tell you I'll get lost. And then I have brother Ali Rada calling me and telling me, where are you, Sayyid? I need it. It's a necessity that I, as an individual, as a human being, I need direction. I need to go here and there. And that teaches me this. But this is a problem here. There is no privacy. I don't have a privacy. You don't have privacy. Steve Jobs himself, they asked him, do you give your children iPad? He says, no, I don't. But today, if you look at our communities, as soon as the child starts crying, there you go, Fadda, take it. And we don't think that the information there is on this phone, I told you, loaded gun. We have an issue today, and I will speak about this inshallah tomorrow night, with the alphabet community. Some of them, they call them the rainbow community or the LGBTQ. For me, it took me days and days to remember that, the LGBTQ, the plus plus. So just call them the alphabet community. This community that's coming forward, asking for rights here and there. Your child today, if you give him this phone and you tell her, go on YouTube Kids. And you, as a parent, you think, you know what? It's fine. It's safe. It's not. It's not. The amount of filth that they have there, that our children are exposed to it, it's alarming. Alarming. The amount of pornography there is on the websites, thousands of websites, thousands of hours. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You think that I, as an individual, I can stop that from happening in my household? You gave the child a loaded gun. You told the child, do whatever you want without any supervision. And tomorrow you think, why is my child not doing right? Why is my child not coming to the Imam Barga, coming to the mosque, coming to there and there? Because you did that. You gave the child a phone. You told the child, go watch whatever you want. There's no supervision. There's no cutoff time. You can do whatever you want at any time. One of our students in the school, Imam Ali College, in term 2, she told me, she's a 7-year-old. She said, Sayyid, last night I was awake until 3 in the morning. I said, what were you doing? Salat al-Layl? Mafatih al-Janan? She said, no, I was watching TikTok. 7-year-old, sitting down, has a phone of her own, iPhone 14. And she goes to TikTok and she goes page to page to page to page to. And you wonder here, is she an orphan? Where is her parents? Until 3 in the morning. If I'm awake until 3 in the morning, my wife tells me, goes to sleep, Sayyid. It's enough. Yet this child until 7, she's 7, until 3 in the morning, she's sitting down, going page to page and watching this amount of filth. It's not the problem just with AI. There is a problem with the whole technology that we have today in our hands. That we as individuals, we as a community, we don't know how to use this technology. It's a 16-year-old technology. It's a teenager. For us, we haven't figured it out yet. And yet we give it to our children, yet we give it to the ones that can't tell what is right and what is wrong. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi afdalus salati was salam says in the hadith, Ustur dhahabaka wa dhihabaka wa madhabak. Conceal your wealth, conceal your goings and comings, and conceal your what? Your religion. Ustur dhahabaka wa dhihabaka wa madhabak. Conceal it, hide it. No one should know where you're going, where you're coming from. No one should know how much money you have. You don't need to tell them. You don't need to. This versus technology and oversharing. Sometimes some individuals, they say, oh, Ahlul Bayt sayings are all from old time and they don't, connect with what we have today because we have evolved. No. We are still human beings. That still, Ustur dhahabaka wa dhahabaka wa madhabak was relevant in the time that was in our homelands. In Iran, in Iraq, in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, we had allies, and some of the neighbors, they look, some of them, they want to know whatever is going on. That was relevant for you to conceal it. They don't need to know what you have. They don't need to know where you went and where you came from and what you believe in, your faith. And this is also now, and subhanAllah, now it's more relevant actually, because you have this phone. Tomorrow I'm going to Karbala. Why? You're telling people. Why? Why is it that you need? And you see, there is this necessity to tell people where you're going. Why is it that everyone needs to know you're going to Karbala? Why is it everyone needs to know that how many bitcoins you have, how much money you have? Why is it that we as individuals, and this is all humanity today, whenever we travel, we have to show the world, this is the room I'm staying in for a couple of days, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm eating, this is what... Oversharing. And we want to tell everyone what's happening. This is a negative side of it. When the UN, they sit down and they think about this, and I was watching the news this couple of days in regards to that, in relation to that they're thinking, what do we do with AI? How can we control it? And one of them said that we have a meeting coming in the end of the year. And I was thinking to myself, in the end of the year, by that time, that infant will become what? A toddler. Because he evolves very fast. You are so slow. As a human beings, we are very slow. It takes us a lot of time to do this and that. Oh, I have to go sleep. I have to take a nap. I have to eat some food. And that's a problem that we have. It's going very fast and we don't know what we're doing with it. And the issue for us as Shia of Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salati was salam is that today me as a father, today me as a mother, today me as a guardian, I need to hold on to my family. The issue is not one or two things. The issue is also in your own houses. The issue is right there. You put in front of them, you tell them, this is your screen, this is your phone, this is your iPad, that's your TV, and do whatever you want. And we don't understand the harm this brings us, the issues this brings to us. The Imam alayhi afdalus salati was salam, before I go back to this, for the ones who were here from the beginning, we recited the will, the wasiyya of Imam Sayyid al-Shuhada to his brother Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah. And the Imam here indicates, Imam Sayyid al-Shuhada Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, here he outlines of his motives, why his uprising, why he's going into rebellion mode, why he's doing such and such. And I will connect the dots in a moment. So the hadith says what? The hadith, and keep that in your mind and have that on your mind. Ustur, conceal, dhahabaka wa dhahabaka wa madhabaka. Your money, your wealth, your goings and comings, and your religion. And every one of them, of course, there is a whole topic about it. No one is happy over how much money you have. No one is. Don't think everyone is going to say, oh, mashallah, he has a beautiful house. How many children he has. Some people, they have jealousy. They don't want that for you. A person came to visit the Imam, our sixth Imam. He sat down next to the sixth Imam. And he said to the Imam, I have no children. He was talking to the Imam. Another companion entered. He sat on the other side of the Imam, the other side. And he had one son. He called out his son. His son came running. He embraced his son and he started kissing him and telling the Imam, this is my son. Look at him. He's all grown up, mashallah. He's this and that and that. The other one, who was there before the other companion, he got really upset. And he left. He said his farewells and he left the majlis. The Imam looked at him, the one who was showboating his son, showing off his son. He said to him, what did you do? He said, I didn't do anything. I was showing you my son. He said, don't you know he has no son? The person who left, he has no children. Don't do such a thing. Because there are many types of people. The Imam is saying to him, it's a long hadith. I summarize it for you. There is one who is what? Who is envious, who has ghibtah, who wishes for you and wishes for him the best. And we have those who are what? Jealous, who have hasad. They want everything for you to go away, vanish, burned out, and you have nothing left, and they want to possess everything to themselves and have everything for themselves. So next time, don't do this. So see how careful Ahlul Bayt are? Dhahabaka, your money, your wealth, your family, even your family, you don't need to. وَذِهَابَكَ, your goings and comings, and of course your religion. Why religion? Me as a Shia, I have a belief for Imam al-Hussein. You have a different belief for Imam al-Hussein. Your level might be different than mine. You might have a higher level or something that is lower. You don't need to come and tell me what it is. Sometimes I don't like it. I don't. That is one. This is one point. The other point comes to what? You in front of the enemies of Ahlul Bayt. And you say, I'm a Shia. I love Ahlul Bayt. And I live and love and I work and I go and I breathe and I do everything for Ahlul Bayt. The other one sees you and he says, what's wrong with this person? And here, he might not be showing you any harm or foul language or anything of that, but he, as an individual, might do what? He might come and mock you for this. You don't need to do it. You don't need to show off this. Of course, spreading it is different than the one comes and does such a thing. And he wants to show to the whole nation, this is what it is. And I want to draw a line here, that you spread the knowledge is different of what you say, I believe in. For example, I tell you, some people, they have came just recently in Iraq, in a city called Dilqar, just a couple of months ago. They are Aliullah. Aliullah here means what? They say and they believe that Ali is a creator of the universe. Creator of the universe. Do we believe Ali is a creator of the universe? Yes or no? No. Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salatu was salam in a hadith. The Imam says, some of my Shia, they come and they label for us this kind of things. They say that we have created the universe. We are abid. We are servants of God. La'anahumullah. May God curse them for what they are saying. So these people, they came out, they start talking about these, and of course, the other side, the enemies, they labeled us. Oh, Shia believe in such a thing. We don't. We don't. So these three, conceal them. Now going back to the wasiyyah of Imam al-Hussein to Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah. Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah as an individual, he's the brother of Imam al-Hussein. Imam al-Hussein has many brothers. One of them, of course, Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba, his older brother. Karim Ahl al-Bayt, salamullah alayhi. He has Umar al-Atraf, Abu al-Fadl Abbas, Tamar Bani Hashim. Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah also. Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah, he questioned the Imam's uprising. And why are you fighting? Why are you going out? And many times he tried for the Imam to stay. He tried for the Imam to not fight the war with Yazid ibn Muawiyah. He tried for this to happen, but of course the Imam refused. First thing first, you can't question the Imam, whoever you are. Even if that is Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah, he's an Imam. Allah has chosen him. He's divinely chosen by God the Almighty. You have no right to do such a thing. That's one. Two, of course, he's older than Imam. Imam al-Hussein is older than Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah. If you don't agree to it, well, you're not helping. Just be quiet. And he refused to go with the Imam. The Imam here, he wrote him this letter and he concealed it. And he gave it, he stamped it, he gave it to Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah. I'm leaving Medina, I'm going. Open this afterward. The connection between this and what's happening today. The Imam is doing what? Imam saying what? The Imam here is saying, the ummah that I'm looking at is not the ummah of the Prophet. It's different. 50 years have passed from the martyrdom of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They have lost the essence of the Prophet. They have lost the way. Ummah of the Prophet is not the ummah of the Prophet. The Islam that is Islam al-Muhammadi has become Islam Umawi. 50 years have passed until today. So today that is 61 AH, I have to fight. To do what? Imam here says, لكي آمر بالمعروف وأنهى عن المنكر. Amr bil-ma'ruf is what? Enjoining good. Telling people to do good. وأنهى عن المنكر. And forbid people from doing evil. That is relevant to this point, that today, if you look at it, if Imam al-Hussein comes today, right now, and he looks at our ummah, our nation, the Shia, I'm just the Shia, I'm not talking about the whole 1.8 billion Muslims, just 100 or 200 million of us, maybe we are more, maybe less, but he looks at the Shia, what does the Imam say about us? Have we lost our way or not? Are we on the right path? Are we walking this path of Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salatu wassalam? Or have we deviated? Have we have gone astray? We're going this way, that way. Yes or no? Of course. We have lost our way. We as Shia of Ahl al-Bayt, we have lost our way. This is a ni'mah that we still can remember Imam al-Hussein every year. But don't think that because you and I, we come and we put this parcham, this flag up and this member up, that I'm doing a favor for Imam al-Hussein. Imam al-Hussein doesn't need me and you. Imam al-Hussein, 30 million. Last year they went to visit Imam al-Hussein, Arba'in al-Hussein. You think Imam al-Hussein needs any of them? No. We need the Imam. We need the Imam. As I mentioned last night, in Ziyarat al-Arba'in for Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq alayhi afdal salatu wassalam, he says what? وَبَذَلَ مُهْجَتَهُ فِيكَ لِيَسْتَنْقِذَ عِبَادَكَ مِنَ الْجَهَالَ وَحَيْرَةَ الضَّلَالَةِ. Jahala, ignorance, and hayrat al-dhalala, moving this way and that way and going straight and losing the path. What do you think today? We're not losing the path? Before it was one person. Today we have this technology, unfortunately, that has come to our houses, that I as a father, I don't look, that this is harming me, it's harming my children, and let them do whatever they want. And unfortunately, we have some cowards in our community when it came to stopping, and we still can, but there are some that they refuse to even speak out against the alphabet community. Or say, I don't want this. As a Muslim, I have my beliefs. I as a Muslim, I have my family to look after. And I don't care what happens. This came the perfect time, when we have this alphabet community pushing for this. And you have, of course, Muharram al-Haram, لكي يأمر بالمعروف وأنهى عن المنكر. أمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر. They're going to kill you. I don't care. They will kill you, your children, your family members, your companions. They will decapitate you. They will cut you in pieces. I don't care. Let them do whatever they want to do. Muhjatahu is what? The blood of his heart, he gave it away for us. To be what? To be guided to the right path. And he's saying this to his brother, إِنِّي لَمْ أَخْرُجْ أَشْرًا وَلَا بَطَرًا. I'm not coming out to oppress anyone. I'm not coming out to deviate everyone or put farqa or do any harm to this millah, to this ummah. No, I want to do amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy an munkar. So me as a I come and I say, Hussein, Hussein, Hussein. I do latmiya, sinazani. I cry for Imam al-Hussein. I do all that, but my action is against whatever Imam al-Hussein stood for. Can I really call myself a Shia? Truly, can I do that? I have the audacity to say I'm a Shia? The Imam tomorrow, he looks at you and looks at me. Looks at me. I don't want to say you because you might be upset from this. Looks at me, he says to me, Hasan, you said such and such, but were you really with me? It's really hard. It's truly hard to say something and abide to it. To say I'm a Husseini, to say I'm a Shia, I'm a follower of Ahl al-Bayt, and truly be a Shia. And I don't say that. I'm not a Shia. To be frank, you might say, what is he? Is a Wahhabi or Salafi? No. I'm not a Shia. You know who a Shia is? A true Shia? Habib ibn Mudahar, Muslim ibn Aqil, Muslim ibn Awsaja, Maytham al-Tammar. Maytham al-Tammar, they killed him in Dhul Hijjah. For what reason? What was his crime? You're spreading out the virtues of your Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. And he tells him, Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad ibn Zaniyah, he says to him, I will crucify you. What does he say in response? This is what my Imam told me, that you will crucify me, that you will cut my hands and my legs, and you will cut my tongue. What does he say to Maytham al-Tammar? I'll show you that your Mawla, that your Imam is a liar. I will cut your hands, I will cut your legs, but I'm not going to cut your tongue. They crucified him on this palm tree. The Imam showed him way before. The Imam said to him, that palm tree is where you're going to be crucified. That palm tree. He used to pray Salat at any chance he got, that I'm going to be crucified on you. After they did that, just imagine your hands and your legs are cut, and you say to the people of Kufa, come, 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 I want to read for you some of the virtues of Ali. Really? Yes. علي مع الحق والحق مع علي علي مع القرآن والقرآن مع علي. Rasulullah said, أنا مدينة العلم وعلي بابها فمن أراد المدينة والحكمة فليأتها من بابها. أقضاكم علي أعلمكم علي. He keeps going. He's in pain. Now I'm sitting here. I might not be so comfortable because of the member, but I'm sitting, mashallah, alhamdulillah, it's hot, everything is good. I have a microphone, I have water right next to me. I'm not in pain. He's in pain, he's bleeding. And he says to them, come, come, I want to tell you about who Ali is. This is a Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Not a person who has problem waking up for Salat al-Subh. A person that has issue coming to the majalis of Imam al-Hussein to shed some tears for Imam al-Hussein, and he calls himself, I'm a Shia. Because I have a big sword of the Fiqar. I have tattooed all my back, Ali, Hasan, Hussein, Sajjad, Baqir, the 14 infallibles. This is what a Shia is. A Shia is Maytham al-Tammar, Habib ibn Mudahir. After this, they came to Ubaidullah. Look at him. He's spreading the virtues of Ali. Go cut his tongue. They came to cut his tongue. What did he say? What was his reaction? He said, this is what the Imam said. Subhanallah. I told you this is what the Imam said. They came and they cut his tongue. This is a Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib. We can't lose our humanity. This is the whole message of tonight's lecture, that we are humans. And the best person to show me humanity, the best form of humanity, the pure form of humanity is Imam al-Hussein. In an age of whatever it is, technology, AI, whatever comes forward tomorrow and the day after that, I'm a follower of a person who is the embodiment of justice. I'm a follower of a person who is the embodiment of all virtues. Who is, when he's going to Karbala, tonight is the day. Today, the 2nd of Muharram, is when he entered Karbala. For moments he closes his eyes and then he opens them and he says, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. He looks at him, his son, Ali al-Akbar, salamullahi alayhi. He says, oh father, why is it that you're saying Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un? What's happening? He says, oh son, I closed my eyes for a moment and I saw this person riding a horse. He says to me, he's riding a horse and he calls out to me that your caravan is going to their death. So I recited Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. What does he say? Ali al-Akbar, alasna ala al-haq? Are we on the true path, the truth? He says, yes, we are on the truth. We are on the haq path. He says, we don't care then if we go to death or death comes to us. They come to the land of Karbala. As soon as the Imam arrives there, he looks around. I know this land. There is stories. There is this history. Every prophet, when they arrived to this land and they were crossing this land, they fell and they started bleeding, or some harm came to them and they asked God, why is it that when we come to this land, the land of Karbala, this happens to us? Jibreel comes down and he says to them, this is where the grandson of the prophet will be massacred. This is where he's going to be decapitated. The Imam comes there and he says to the people, what is the name of this land? They give him a couple of names and they come to this name. They say to the Imam, this land is known as Karbun wa Bala. The Imam says, Nastajiru billah min Karbun wa Bala. What is the name of this land? They say Karbala. He calls out Bani Asad and he tells them, I want to buy this area. The area you go today where his shrine is, where the Bain al-Haramain is, where the shrine of his brother, the Alamdar is. I want to buy it, purchase it from you. Why? Because I don't want to be killed on a land that I don't own. You know who's the first person that describes what happened on this land? Is Ali ibn al-Hussein Zayn al-Abidin. When they go back, they go all the way to Kufa, to Sham. And when they're coming back, their path comes to two roads. One takes them to Medina and the other one takes them to Karbala. He comes to Bibi, As-Sayyida Aqila Zaynab al-Kubra, and he says to her, Amma, where do we go? You want to go to Medina or do you want to go to Karbala? As soon as she hears Karbala, she says, of course, take me to Karbala. At that time, who was there? Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari and his servant. Jabir, when he arrives in Karbala, as soon as he arrives in Karbala, he says to his servant, take me to the Euphrates. I want to perform ghusl. He performs the ghusl and then he wears his new clothing and then he says to him, take my hand and take me to the grave of my Habib Hussein. He takes his hand and they walk. He says, his servant narrates, every step Jabir used to take, he used to call out, Wa Husayna, Wa Sayyida, until he reached the grave of Imam al-Hussein. I said to him, Jabir, we arrived. This is the grave of Hussein. Jabir says to his servant, take my hand and place it on the grave. He can't see, he has lost his eyesight. As soon as he places his hand on the grave of Hussein, he falls on the grave of Hussein and he calls out, Hussein, Wa Husayna. This moment he's taken and he's crying next to the grave of Imam al-Hussein. His servant says to him, Jabir, there is this dark sign, there is this dark sign coming from the direction of Damascus. It looks like there is a caravan moving toward us. He says to him, go look, see if that is the army of Umar ibn Sa'ad or my Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein. He goes and moments later he comes running and he says, Jabir, come and welcome the Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein. This is Ali ibn al-Hussein and his aunties, Ali ibn al-Hussein and his sisters, Ali ibn al-Hussein and the orphans of Hussein. Jabir comes running as soon as the Imam sees him. He's a friend. Now I can bring out what is in my heart. All this time, enemy after enemy. When he sees Jabir, he says to Jabir, are you Jabir? He says, yes, I am Jabir, Sayyidi wa Mawlai. He calls out, Jabir, ha huna wallah qutilat atfaluna. This is the land where they killed our children. Oh Jabir, ha huna wallah قتلوا أهل بيت أبي. Oh Jabir, this is the land where they killed the family of my father. Oh Jabir, ha huna wallah Subiyat Nisa'una. This is the land where they took our woman captive. And then the Imam came to this point and he called out, oh Jabir, this is the land they killed my father Hussein thirsty. هذه مدينة قتلوا أبي الحسين عطشانا. This is the land where they killed my father Hussein thirsty. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك وأناخت برحلك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. Raise your hands. With your loudest voices, call out the name of Hussein and recite the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein alayhi afdalus salati was salam. May Futros, the angel, takes his ziyarah, this salam, to the Imam himself from here. Call out, As-salamu ala al-Hussein wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussein وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أخته العقيلة عقيلة الطالبيين زينب الكبرى وأخيه أبا الفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج، اللهم عجل فرجه، سهل مخرجه، اجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه يا رب العالمين. يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلبي على دينك. الفاتحة قبلها الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. Just a humble request from the brothers, tomorrow inshallah be here by 7:30. So we start 7:30. I try my best inshallah to be here before that, so I don't lecture for an empty hall and repeat the topic here and there. So inshallah I see you tomorrow night. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.